Hey everyone, so today's video is going to be a little bit of a random one. I was just going through a shop near myself and I found some of these Play-Doh moment cast things that are meant to be for like babies' hands and feet and things. And I don't know about you, but I don't got any of those. However, I do have dogs and they do have feet. So I figured I would try to make some little casts of their feet just so I could have them just for fun. Maybe make them into Christmas decorations, or I can take clay and press it onto this when it's already set and have little 3D feet of theirs and just random stuff, just for fun. They were like €6 and I was like, why not? So the box came with this ring that you can see for cutting it out, the ribbon that I had there a second ago that Pickle tried to eat, the little circle piece which was like a little rolling pin that Pickle tried to eat, and obviously the little pouch of clay stuff itself, and this thing which is for like setting your completed cast onto to make it look all pretty. Pickle is a demon and steals everything apparently, so yeah, basically you have to roll out the clay, put your little circle in it, put the hand or the foot or whatever, and then leave it for 24 hours to dry, which is what Pickle was attempting to show you, but she's not being paid for this work, so she doesn't really care all that much. So I wasn't 100% sure how well this was going to turn out because I had never actually seen these before. I'd never even heard of them. I've seen people doing it with clay, and I've seen people doing it with, is it gypsum, the thing that people use, or is that a rock? Is that a rock, or is that the thing? Are they the same? I don't know, I'm going to sound really stupid. I'm going to feel really stupid now. But anyway, this, I said, like, why not? I figured it's cheap. It was there anyway, it was on clearance, and I was like, let's go for it, why not? Number one thing, this looks like marshmallow fluff. It feels like marshmallow fluff. It smells like nothing. Yes, I did bite it. It does not taste like marshmallow fluff. It tastes like nothing, which is rather dangerous. It was very sticky, very stringy. I don't know why. When someone says clay, I picture it to be very solid and kind of muddy. When someone says Play-Doh, I picture it to be kind of solid but soft. This was just something else. This was like freshly cooked mozzarella cheese stringiness, but also it kind of felt crunchy, like it was full of tiny bubbles. So to use it, I did have to kind of flatten it out a bit, and I did learn that the one I'm doing here right now, I did not flatten even nearly enough. So I flattened it out. I used just an old mini chopping board for like vegetables and such, and I used the little rolling pin that they gave me. My number one issue that I had straight off the bat was that I did not wipe down the table as much as I should have, so there was dog hair everywhere. Because I had literally just finished brushing the dogs and I was like, why not? We'll try this now. You know, I shaved out their foot pads so there'd be less hair in it, and that was obviously a massive mistake. So I rolled it out a bit. I rolled it out a good bit, but it wasn't nearly enough. It was so full of bubbles, and when it did eventually dry, you'll see yourself. It wasn't as flat as I would have liked it to be, but again, it was really cheap. I feel like this would be really easy to get a new one and just try again. So once you have it rolled out flat and you've got your little circle around it, I left the circle just in case I misapplied the dog and it caused it to smoosh. So I left the circle on it just for uniform's sake. I applied my dog, so I took a foot and then I decided that it wasn't going to work in that angle. It was going to make it really awkward and sideways. So I instead got up and I got behind Pickle. So I said Pickle was going first because she's the more manhandled of the two, the one that I took her from the start and was like, right, you are going to be okay with being handled. So I took both feet up so that we just had a bit of a uniform weight distribution here, applied the foot, and I firmly pressed it down. Now I wasn't smooshing her. Now her feet do go out a bit because it is soft, it's soft dough, but I got a rather nice print off her. You could see each of the toes are there, and you could see the middle paw pad is there, and I was very happy with that. And of all the moments for my boss to text me, that she decided to do it right there. I took Pickle's one and I just put it to one side. I said, right, it can dry over on the corner. I put it on top of like a clothes horse just so it would be out of the way and hoped that not a lot of hair would stick to it. For Beauty's one, I just put onto a plate and I messed with this for quite a while to get rid of bubbles. You can see that it does look a lot smoother than Pickle's one. Now, I did get really mad at it. This is the 5th or 6th time I tried rolling this out, and you can see I'm trying to be careful and not put lines in it because I wanted it to be smooth. And yeah, it didn't work very well. It's just because it's made to hold images like fingerprints and little marks for children that you can't, you know, crush their fingers into it. Fair. But Jesus Christ, I was so annoyed at this thing when I was trying to roll it out flat, and it just was not cooperating. It was full of bubbles, and they just kept coming to the surface and popping and making little craters, and I was rather annoyed. But we got there eventually. I'm sure someone who wasn't in the middle of being frustrated would have been able to do it a lot easier. I was just being an idiot. So, for people who don't know Beauty, just in case you don't, she is a little bit, how do I put this? She's had a bit of a life. She's got a bit of arthritis in the legs, and her toes are kind of deformed because she was so heavy for so long. So when I got her, she was nearly 40 kilos. She is now 18 kilos. She was over twice the weight she should have been, or around twice the weight she should have been. She is not happy with being handled, especially around her feet, and that's why I put her on the floor, and I tried to make it as chill as possible. Lots of rewards, lots of pets. And I ended up getting this kind of print where you can see her nails are really long. You got each of the toes, but her main paw pad wasn't very well defined. So I tried to go for round 2. So obviously I do know how to, like, I'm just going to say as a side note, I know how to clip nails. I can do it. Her nails are that long because her toes are so bent forward that the nail actually comes out and goes up and then it comes down. So I've clipped them. You'll see the Dremel is actually there right beside the plate I'm using. That's the thing I use to like file down her nails. And I can do it. It's just such a fuss because she's so nervous about it. And then when she's walking around, they just grow back because they're not touching the floor. They're not being worn down. So any print I get from her, I just accepted was going to have massive holes from nails. Whereas Pickle's didn't, because hers are a proper length because I have them trimmed. And then she runs around the place and is wearing them off on the floor as well. So if you've got a dog with long nails, make sure to have this extra thick because otherwise they're going to have random little holes in it and it's going to mess with the integrity of the piece, or whatever way you want to phrase that. For this piece, I decided to do a little bit of better weight distribution. So before she was sitting down and I took her foot and I pressed her foot down. Whereas I decided this time I was going to try and get her to stay standing. I was going to put one foot on top of it and I was going to lift up her foot on the other side so that she would naturally put all her weight down on it in the way she naturally stands. And I was like, yep, Grant, you know, she's physically capable of walking, therefore this will work. Well, it didn't. It didn't work very well at all. I put her foot on it. You can see her nails now. Like they annoy me. They very much annoy me. The back ones aren't too bad. The front ones are just annoying. So I put her foot on it, and she wasn't too pleased. But I put her foot on it as best as I could, and then I decided to pick up the leg on the other side so that she would naturally put down her leg. And then when she lifted it off, I realized I only had toes. She had not put her main paw pad down at all. I don't know why. And there was no point in trying to get her to do it again because I wasn't going to get it in the exact same place. She's stressed, she's sad, she's always sad at anything that is new. So I was like, right, do you know what, this'll do. The first one had a bare imprint of like a normal paw pad in the middle, so this'll just have to do. I'll keep the second one like as a little ornament. Here you can see the comparison of where I made her stand versus where she naturally stood. So if she naturally stood like this, those nails wouldn't be so long, but listen, we're not going to start a fight about that now, are we? So about 48 hours later, because I, after 24 hours, completely forgot, this is what I had. So they're kind of squishy. I thought they were going to harden like clay, but they're kind of squishy and they're kind of pliable, and Pickle wanted to eat it, of course, as she does. But this was Pickle's footprint, and I also took some of the spare stuff and I smooshed her nose. Look at her nose and little teeth. Just look at them. Look how angry she was. I felt really bad after, but like she didn't particularly care. It's non-toxic. I should have mentioned that at the start. Non-toxic. There's no scent. There's no smell. There's no colourings on it. There's literally, I don't even know what this stuff is made of. This was the Beauty one that I had a kind of a main paw print on. A main pad print on. But again, you can see when it's dry. You can see how little of a print it was. And then the one that I manipulated and tried to get her to stand on just her toes. I didn't try to get her to stand on just her toes, but she stood on just her toes, and I put a little hole in it because I was like, I don't know, maybe my granny would like it as a Christmas decoration for the tree or something. Honestly, these are soft enough that I feel like I could use a scissors to kind of snip around that and make it like a nicer shape. And then my friend Maureen was here and she made a mushroom, and while I was messing with it on camera, I kind of broke it. So I'm hoping she doesn't see this, and I'm hoping she doesn't realise. So yeah, altogether, I'd say that they're a pretty good thing. It was cheap, it was quick, it was easy, there was little to no mess. The only thing that had to be gotten rid of was the cardboard box, the little bit of plastic from around the quote unquote clay that looked like marshmallow fluff, and I'm very suspicious of. And that was about it. There was nothing else really. The rest of it's solid plastic that can be recycled and just thrown into a recycling bin, like the little rolling pin and the circle. And then there's just a little ribbon. So altogether, it was very simple, very easy, and I would probably do it again if I needed to. I would love to try and figure out how to do something for the snakes because it did hold detail very well. When I was messing with it and I put my thumb on it, like my fingerprint was perfectly visible. And I can't show it on camera because it's white, it's very difficult to pick up the details on camera. But when you look at it, you could see the little dots like from Pickle's feet, like the little dots on her toe beans. And so like it does hold detail very, very well. I don't know how to show it on camera very well, and I feel like if I could roll a snake in it, the scales would look really cool. But also, I don't want to just roll a snake like a rolling pin. I don't think they'd appreciate it. So yeah, if you have any suggestions for something similar to this that I could try, or something that I could do with snakes, like if I have a dead snake, yes, I could position them whatever way I want, and I could get like nice scales and stuff like that. But I do not currently, and I do not want to seek one out, and I'm not looking forward to having one, but if I have one and the situation arises, I will take advantage of it and possibly seek this out and get little scale patterns because they'd be pretty and it'd be a nice way to memorialize. Remember a snake, whatever the word is. Yes, I think it's memorialize. Oh my god, I'm struggling. Make snake memorial. There we go. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will do my absolute best to help. And if you have any suggestions, also leave those in the comments below. With a helpful thing would be links, because then I can find things easier. I apologise for any background noise. Pickle is currently trying to eat my leg. And yeah, thank you, goodbye.